Okay, it's Wednesday, August 4th, 2021, and we're going to start the Town of Sangerville Select Board meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have some guests today, and they're under new business. I believe they're here for a liquor license. Is that correct? Yep. I'd like to suggest that we just move them to the top.
Sure.
So we will do that.
Okay.
You're at the top now.
Sounds good. Thank you. So we, my brother and I, this is Dominic, I'm John. We own land out on McFeeters Road where we're putting a brewery in.
I drove by it.
Cool. And you can stop in sometime if you see us out.
I'd like to, yep.
So we have two applications from the state here. One is for our on-premise license that there's a section here that needs to be filled out by either the county commissioner or municipal officers, which would be you guys. And then there's a extension of license on premise, because we have a little patio that we'd like to have people be able to sit at, that technically we can't use right now because we don't have this filled out. So this is an extension of premises that also needs to be filled out by you folks. So that's why we're here today. Do you guys have any questions or anything about?
Well, I can tell you, I called the state. They said the reason that yes, you do have to sign or not sign depending on your thoughts on the matter. But if it's on premises, it goes through the towns first. And you do have to sign because we have referendum voting saying that we are allowing that. If there was some reason that you thought we shouldn't allow it, I guess maybe you wouldn't sign, but.
Right, but the town's already, has already approved the establishment of this type.
Exactly.
So,
I don't get clarification on that.
I should have brought it with me. I have the ballot question and the vote tally.
I believe, and I did read it, and maybe I might be wrong, it just says liquor.
Well, the state wrote us a letter back in April, and liquor covers
Beer and wine.
covers it all.
Everything, okay.
That's fine.
Cool.
One thing we've learned through the process of the state, different organizations, meaning the agricultural gave us a license to brew beer, but the health department had nothing to do with that side.
We have to get multiple licenses from multiple people or
And then I
departments.
remember reading something, it just said liquor license, and I said, well, Johnny, that's very vague. Is
Right.
that beer, wine, and hard stuff? Because eventually we do want a Class A license, so we can serve all main product of Mossy Ledge or something like that. Who makes a spirit in the state of Maine, we want to be able to serve that here. And then, is that true that it's only on Sundays? Is that?
What do you mean, selling it on
Selling
Sundays?
on
I
Sundays.
believe we approved.
Yeah, I think we have Sunday
I
sales.
might have read something old, I don't know.
We had a glitch. We thought we had approved Sunday sales, and we hadn't, and so we revisited that a couple of years ago.
2018.
Okay.
we visited.
But there had been a lot of selling going on that we hadn't have actually.
It
That was our
passed.
part.
The only thing that we
Gotcha.
haven't passed is hard alcohol sales, but off premises. We've approved all the on premises ones, but not hard alcohol for off premises.
What would that be?
A. Robinsons cannot sell you hard alcohol. Country Time
Off
cannot.
premises, I mean you buy it there and then you
Leave.
you take it away. I see. So you have to consume it where you purchase it.
Well, there's, with this whole COVID thing, the state liquor license does allow, I'm not sure about saying about Guilford and Mossy Ledge, you can actually buy hard liquor or beer, wine, as long as it's in a sealed container, dated, time, and how much, whatever it was. The state of Maine allows you to take that off premises.
Did that expire yet?
It hasn't expired, and what the
I
lady
don't know
said
on
was
that
it
one.
probably
Won't expire.
until something
Yeah.
drastically happens.
Because I saw people doing that, and they were paying, exorbitant amounts of money for a travel cocktail, really. It was great
I've
business.
seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that would be interested in doing it, because we have the option, we don't do it.
Sure.
And probably won't. just for liability reasons.
But what you're talking about is more like a mixed drink, right? I mean, it's actually
It's
intended
hard.
for,
Yeah, they were mixed.
but I mean, it's intended for consumption the way it is.
Yep.
Whereas,
Outside their premises.
right, so I think the way that law, as far as no sales on Sunday for liquor, would be to actually buy like a half gallon or a fifth, or, you know what I
That's
mean?
what she's talking about.
Right, that's what I mean, it's not the same, I don't think, is what the COVID thing is
I
doing.
don't know about a wedding. So we got the team over there in East Sangerville.
That's why you have to sign those.
Every night.
Every time they have to, so for every event, they have to notify us and we,
If they're
okay,
gonna serve alcohol.
yeah, okay.
And I've actually called the state, and the last time I called the state, he said, oh, well, I know that person, they're reliable, you should go ahead and sign that, or I know that.
We can't just do it once though.
You can't get into a blanket
No.
approval.
Okay.
No, because there might be reasons you wouldn't want to do
Oh, it depends on who is there
Yeah.
catering
the
it.
catering.
If you-
Oh, I see.
I might call the state, and they might say, well, they're not,
Oh, we've had problems.
we've had problems with them, you might want to consider not signing it.
I see what you're saying. Okay, different thing. All right.
And just a question, as far as serving alcohol, beer, what's the difference between a brewery, I mean, a brewery, I understand you're making it there, and a bar?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean-
beer, it's more, a good way to do it is just go visit one, like, there's one out in Monson, Turning Page,
Mhm.
is very nice.
It's one in Cambridge.
Yeah, there's one in Cambridge, East Outlet,
I
that's
think
very nice.
what you're asking for, what's the difference between brewing and serving? Two
Yeah,
different licenses. We
right,
have to get two different licenses,
Right.
one through the agriculture to brew beer,
okay,
and that's all he cared about. The health department had nothing to do with Johnny brewing beer and inspecting that.
Right.
That came through the agriculture side.
okay.
Right,
Now, because that's industrial and mercantile, because that's where it comes, she made a point with taxes.
two different uses.
So when we brew our beer, it goes into a refrigerator.
Right,
One side is non-bonded and bonded, meaning taxable and non-taxable.
Yeah.
And that's
Keep track of
what
it
we
all.
need to keep a very clear 90-day note, because we have to send tax into the state of Maine, even though we didn't sell it, but we're getting ready to sell it.
I
They want
see.
that tax money
Every month.
wow,
Yeah,
Every month.
every drop of beer I make, I pay tax on.
If it's,
So-
there again, non-bonded,
Right.
bonded. So some beers we might, want, future, if we want to age some in a whiskey barrel or something like that,
Right.
it takes 6 months. So they understand that, and they don't want us to pay tax on that yet until it's
okay,
aged
I
and
see,
Right.
improved. And
Yeah.
then, but as soon as they bring it over to start
Sure.
serving,
sure,
they want that.
I see, okay.
Do you need a license to sell your beer to another licensed
So,
venue?
I'm under 30,000 gallons a year, we're very small, so, I can self-distribute. That's the nice thing about being smaller.
Sure.
If I go above that threshold, then I have to use a, like, main distributor,
Oh,
or
okay.
somebody else like that to distribute.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we just actually received our license from the agricultural department 2 weeks ago, so I can actually legally brew and sell beer now. The brew area, it's like, my building's kind of cut in half. There's half that's the brew area, the other half's gonna be the tasting room. And they're actually two separate entities almost, where this license only covers me brewing and selling there on premise.
You can sell growlers.
Right, I can sell growlers, but if I do anything other than that, that's where the state health department comes in. Like, we want to sell a pretzel or with the beer or something like that. They'll come in and that's a whole other
Wow.
set of licenses. So we are almost there. As soon as we actually have to get food safe certified. That's one more thing we need to do before I even submit this application. So, and having you guys sign this is another step. So we're learning as we go. It's been pretty intense process.
What's the name of your brewery?
Two Nights Brewing Company.
2 nights?
Yes.
Oh, very
Actually, I
nice.
should give you a whole overview. I don't-
You should give us a,
Yeah.
like a
So-
coupon,
A growler.
a growler.
Okay. Sure, we
Could have brought
Wait.
samples.
So 2 years ago, we came and we met with Jerry, Matt, and Elaine, yes, Blake. And they got us rolling. We submitted our idea of what we wanted to do. And broke ground in 2019, maybe like May 28th. We started digging the foundation hole, and we've been tinkering away ever since. So, yeah, the paperwork has been pretty intense, but the state's been awesome, the federal government's been awesome. They've been very helpful. So, The whole process has been a learning experience, but they've been very helpful, so it hasn't been really all that stressful. So, yeah, but I got the name after this town of Sangerville,
Sure.
of course.
Yeah, that's great.
Maxim and Harry Oaks. One of the beer, actually, I have a licensed beer name already, Machine Gun Ale,
Oh, good for you.
after Maxim. And then I have to license my next couple names. So probably the next one will be Gold Rush IPA for Harry Oaks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's going to be a whole little, it's going to be a little museum in there too, a little bit of Sangerville history.
Are you gonna serve food?
Yes. Yep. Probably not right away. That's going to take a little bit of time, but we'll be serving food.
So in order to get your Class A license, which is your liquor license, you have to have 3 foods on the menu that need utensils. That's
Yeah.
And it could be
Who
macaroni
thinks this stuff up?
cheese.
Right, I know, right?
Easy stuff like that. Because what happened was, the reason why the upstairs hasn't been built is because the fire marshal came and said, it's a brand new building, it's a brand new business. Right. Sprinkle laws. So we had to sprinkle the place. Even though we thought it was under 5,000 square feet, we didn't need to sprinkle.
Oh.
But now it's over 40 people, we need to sprinkle. So what we should have done, in hindsight, is build a building, and then personally, which build pretty big personally now, and then convert it over to, we want to put a pool.
Right.
He would never even have to come and show up.
Right.
Sure.
So now, you're talking only $50,000, $60,000 for a sprinkler, just a sprinkler system, because we're on a well, we've got tanks, we've got all this stuff. Yeah, so that's what stopped the upstairs.
That's why it's just a black.
And downstairs, we had no plans on, that's just storage and break room and stuff. So now we're trying to make that a small tasting room. And the state came back, so we will have about 15 people.
The fire marshal, yeah, where the tasting room is, we're about 15 people, and
It's
2
just a
employees. And then the patio, another 15 people.
That's why we want to.
That's kind of why we want to extend out.
I see.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the ITS trail, right there on our properties,
Yeah.
I know there's going to be 10, 15 people in there, so the groups, nobody will stop them. And when they come in, it's like, ooh, you're not to say, sorry, you're one over, one has to stay outside. That's not going to happen. They know it's not going to happen.
Right.
That's what we did. So that's why we wanted that little outside side of the city area. And then eventually we'll try to enclose that area to like a 3-season sunroom area type deal, because the way the land is laid is just perfect. It's so lean and it's perfect location for it. So that area I think will be excellent, even in the wintertime when people come in, because it's so small inside, they get all the snow. Take that off. Hopefully that's all. Right now we just need your blessings on what we want to do right now for the state. Move on and get that tasting room opened up.
I think we're good, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds great.
Perfect. So, yeah, there's 2 sections. I don't know if all of you have this, actually, yeah, there's room for everybody. Just,
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'll sign it.
And I would like to get a copy of that updated
yeah, I don't have the other.
liquor, wine, beers. I was telling them that everything's so separate from different licenses.
Like, I want to get into cider, making ciders and wine eventually, and then spirits.
Mead.
Yeah. But I can't technically make that stuff right now, because my license only allows me to make malt beverages. That's it. So I'll have to apply for more licensing to expand into that stuff. There's that.
I might have it right here on the computer. Hold on a second.
So the $1 million question is when
Yeah.
you start serving food, do you still have some of your parents' old recipes?
We do. We all love to cook, my family.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Joe can do a certain thing, I can do a certain thing, and then Johnny can do a certain thing.
I'm the beer guy. I make the beer.
So there's so many different options how you can do it.
Sure.
And the way society is today, with so many people there, eventually after we establish, we're going to do a special. We advertise it, you sign up, make so much food, that's it.
That's good, yeah. Then it's
Yes,
fresh.
everybody can make, everybody can make
You want
cup.
it to be good. You
Yeah.
want it to be really good.
Everybody can make cup food,
Mm-hmm.
French fries, fried wings, stuff like that. So we want to do more
Thank you.
specialty stuff. And people still, You know where my parents had a restaurant back in the 80s. Still remember that. I can make a means with my dad. I can make soups, I'm joking. I can't roast a roast beef. A joke to make an excellent roast beef.
Wow.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
Thank you.
that's
I
great.
mean, I was just only talking to Casey and Joe. They're excited. So,
Hey, I think it's wonderful.
eventually, we'd like to put a brick oven in. That's, it would cost a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're not really going to the bank and getting a big loan out.
It should be official copies that are all signed.
No, that's okay. Just because I think
That's the
what she
last
had,
one.
when that state lady came
I had it
in,
from 20.
that's what she saw.
15 or 15, I think it was the
14.
original vote, 14. Yeah, that's what it was.
2014, 2018 is the last time we voted, and then,
So we'll make sure that's updated with her because she's, I know.
Right, no question.
yeah, I spoke to his name was Bob something, and he said we were all set. He's since retired. You maybe have been talking to Kim Lynch? Maybe? No?
State liquor inspector, Tricia.
No?
I have
Okay.
her. Tricia Wayne.
Did we sign it?
Yeah, it's just the way-
Oh.
If you need the rest of it, I can,
Yeah, that's fine. Just, I think she's gonna question that.
yeah.
What information we gave her. She should have,
All the signed copies are in the safe right now,
I
so,
think she looked them up if she needed to.
yeah.
They've been pretty easy.
They've been very good.
Good.
Federal's been, I mean, we had them over just to give us an idea, hey, I'm getting ready to put a couple more sinks in, do one here, do one there. She gave us some, before they come and inspect, say yes or no.
Right.
Ask their questions first.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop at
Absolutely.
any time.
Absolutely.
More than welcome.
Great.
Um,
Thank you.
Yeah, there's always a white dump truck parked there. If you see any other vehicle there, stop it.
We're there.
We're usually there.
All right, we're gonna,
Back to the top.
yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 2, approval of the minutes, select board meeting 7/21/2021, and amended shoreline zoning public hearing 7/28/2021.
We make a motion to approve A and B.
All three vote in favor. Item 3, review treasurer's warrants, payroll 64, 65, accounts payable 63 and 66.
Make a motion to approve A and B is read.
Second?
All in favor? All voted in favor. No open session. Old business. Item A, active duty excise tax exemption ordinance.
We turned that into the town lawyer to ask if we could amend it in some fashion because we felt it was getting a little abuse. He said that we could either amend it to be one vehicle, or we could amend it to be persons serving overseas.
Yeah, I think we all got a copy of that. Yeah, the only thing I would, rather than saying it was being abused, I think it's fair to say it was ambiguous.
It was.
So we need to add some clarity to it.
Well, it's not doing what we thought it intended.
Correct. Well, I don't think it is.
Not as being abused, but
Right, but
it isn't what you
Yeah.
thought
The
you
person was
passed.
using it legally.
Correct.
Was
100%.
exercising it
Yep, sure.
legally.
In a
Yep.
way that maybe we hadn't all
Anticipated.
anticipated as a
Correct.
community.
Right.
So we need to
Exactly.
add some detail.
Yep.
And the suggestions were, one, for example, we could limit it to one vehicle. We could, if I remember right, we could
Yeah.
even dictate that they had to be overseas.
Correct.
Or deployed at some level. So that's really, I guess, where we need to decide what we want to put forward as a warrant article.
I mean, and my suggestion, I did respond to that, was one vehicle and overseas.
Yeah, that would be the most restricted.
Right.
I know originally that's when we first started talking about this, I thought that what this was about was for people that are deployed overseas.
Right.
So, I mean.
But if you're deployed in Texas, you're still serving your country, and you're not in Maine, and
Right.
you could be in Hawaii, you could be in
also
Guam.
be in New Hampshire.
Well, or you might just be in Eastport
Right.
for the
Yeah.
Coast Guard. But if we limit it to one vehicle, it's
Mm.
never more than one vehicle, and we don't have to guess whether you're in Eastport or
True.
Japan.
We don't have to police that portion
Correct.
of it, yeah.
But
That's a
if
good
you,
idea.
If you're
That's true.
career military and let's say you're in Texas, why would you be registering your vehicle in Maine?
Well, you might be a Maine person, you might be a Maine resident. I had a cousin who was a Maine resident and was in the Air Force and went to Germany, but he still was a Maine resident. And then when his tour was up in Germany, he came home.
Yeah, but he was in Germany, so he didn't have
Right, but he
any
could
other,
have just,
he didn't have any other residency.
could have gone to Alaska.
Doesn't matter, wherever you're stationed, you can still claim your residency.
Right.
That
Could be in
matters
South
your main
Carolina.
state.
Well, I know, because people vote in that fashion as
yeah.
well, but,
I have clients that are in the CIA whose their residency is New Hampshire. They haven't been to New Hampshire in years,
yeah,
but,
well, that's what I mean, you know.
so that you could pick, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
But if they picked Maine
Mhm.
and they wanted to take advantage of this ordinance, they would be limited to one vehicle
Yeah.
if we change it.
Mhm.
It's less funky.
Yeah,
Well,
I
there's no,
think so.
there-
There's
there
no
don't-
One and
enforcement.
done, I mean.
one and done.
Exactly.
I'd probably pick my most expensive vehicle.
Well,
Brand spanking new.
That
Right.
makes sense, right?
Yep,
But you gotta be in the military.
that's right, that's right. So one vehicle per person. Because if a husband and wife, but only one person is deployed in the military, then
Sure.
the
If
How
they
many
both
people-
happen to be, then they both could be. I
Right.
mean,
How many
they could
citizens
be-
are currently utilizing this ordinance?
well, I think there's one other, but
Maybe two?
maybe two.
Okay.
So we're just not talking about a lot of volume
Right.
here.
We're not.
So, to me, not having the policing component, arguing with someone when they came back, when they're gonna, where's your
and
next station?
keeping track and.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is less funky.
Yes, right,
So it's just one car.
Yep.
If you're active duty,
yeah, I think
we
that's
can live with it.
reasonable.
Okay,
So, okay.
so the town lawyer can, fix that. We're getting down to the wire here. I don't think we can have hearings on this one or the fire department ordinance just because, I don't know, if we get time-wise.
We need to have a hearing on this to
On
put
an
it.
amendment?
You don't have to have a hearing, you can have a hearing. We do not have to have hearings because we have open town meeting and therefore everybody gets to discuss it.
So-
And if they don't like it, they're just gonna say no.
Right, so with the hearing, so what, a hearing's not an issue?
I'm saying
Okay.
I'm going to not actually schedule.
Okay,
this. It
that-
just makes things
I-
more
Good.
difficult.
I'm fine with that,
It can be discussed then.
right.
Yeah, and well, actually, I've never had a hearing where anyone came to talk about.
Well, you missed the last one. What, July 28th, we had 3 citizens show up.
Did all three discuss?
No, just one.
Probably the same one that's been to other hearings that discussed.
Correct.
And come to the end.
Just enthusiastic.
There you go.
Okay, so anything, do you need a motion on that?
You might as well give me a motion and so I
Okay,
So I'll make a motion that we are going to amend the active duty excise tax exemption ordinance, limiting the vehicle, the
Number.
exemption, number of vehicles that are exempt from paying excise tax to one per person who is deployed.
I'll second that. If this doesn't pass, we're right
It is what
where
it
we
is.
are today.
Yep.
So, any further discussion? We vote? All in
Yep.
favor? Good. Shoreline zoning ordinance.
As I just mentioned, we had a public hearing on the 28th with 3 members of the public. We had no real issues or concerns about what we were passing. So what I need from you is a motion to
Advance.
advance this on the warrant.
And just so we're all, my understanding is what we're about to advance is the state minimum.
It is, and I asked MMA, what happens if they say no, if the public says no? Well, MMA says that the state actually has the power to send you their minimum shoreline zoning and say, this is your,
Right, it will be enforced regardless of what we do.
Correct.
So,
but
Right,
MMA
so-
had to call the state and they wouldn't necessarily do that first. They'd come up and they'd talk to us about reasons why we need to pass this and the positive things that are in this that haven't been in there before, but Jerry already spelled all of those out for us. And
He
I'm
said
sure
it's much more equitable
he can do
across the
that in
board.
town meeting, so I don't
Yes.
foresee any issues, but
Should we put on this, recommended by the selectmen and the planning
Select
board?
Oh, planning board.
yes.
I think
Yeah,
that would help,
Yeah.
maybe,
Clarify
yeah.
for people.
Yeah,
I just
okay.
aren't sure if it was vetted by anybody.
I've got the papers here, I need to.
Obviously, it's recommended by the select board, it wouldn't be advanced.
Right.
No, but I think
As a
it sounds, when you're putting another title with it, I think you're better off to put us both on.
Sure.
Because if you don't, some people might interpret it as that we don't.
Right. So I'll make a motion to, that we're going to advance the shoreline, the
Amended Shoreline zoning.
what did you say?
Amended.
The amended shoreline zoning ordinance.
Second? All in favor? We're all three in favor. Warrant articles, C.
We need to go over those. First, I'm going to show you this. This is what the town report cover.
Oh, nice.
Pretty.
Very nice.
And we have 99% of the town report ready to go. I've reached out to a new vendor, but our previous vendors also given me a quote, so we may go in that direction. And we're not going to order 350, we're going to order 250. We have a lot left over. Part of that's COVID, but I think we got a little carried away, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, so you all have copies of the warrant articles. 1, 2, 3, 4. This first page is all
Pretty straightforward.
pretty straightforward and all was there. Article 7. See what sum the town will vote to raise and or appropriate to pay tax abatements and applicable interest granted during the 2021 fiscal year. We never put this on the warrant, but as I was reading my election and town meeting manual, it said that lots of communities don't, but you should, because even though as assessors you are given the you're allowed to set the overlay, to spend it, you have to actually have a warrant article to say that you're spending it. So, I don't know. I took it right out of the manual.
Again, though, if this were to be voted down, what happens?
You're done.
Well, also it says.
Well, legally, yeah.
So I guess.
It's one of those.
Anytime we have a warrant article that must exist, doesn't seem to me like it should be an article.
No.
Well, for instance, I called on the dog catcher one, and they said we don't necessarily have to have that.
Okay, that wouldn't be an example of what I'm talking about.
Right, she said.
You don't need to have a dog catcher. But if you have to have this, it's built into the budget.
You shouldn't be allowing a vote because you can't say no.
Right, we're implying that there's an option here.
Also, the other thing is it says to see what sum, right? So, I mean, you could spend hours debating on how much money.
Or you could set the amount.
What is the amount?
Because we budget this every year.
Right,
And
we set
they
it.
just,
Right?
yeah.
Well, wasn't it part of the budget that we passed? Which legally we could pass because of the COVID.
Yes.
So,
Basically, we just didn't give ourselves permission to use it.
didn't we have permission in the previous year to use it?
It's one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take it out because
Okay, I agree with you.
Because we've never had it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm not
and it's gonna cause, I think it's
don't
envy.
like the wording.
Yeah,
And we'll make it a next year.
We'll vet it more.
We'll vet it to MMA and everybody, and of course it's their manual, so they're probably going to tell me that I do need some sort of
Now, I can understand if this question is bundled into the entire appropriation that you're seeking. But we've already sought it, we've already implemented it. I don't think we can go back and,
To me, I'm almost thinking about, and I can't remember how it's worded, but at the district vote, the school, isn't there this similar question? But it's like the last question.
it's like, do you agree to do everything you just
Sure.
That
agreed
we
to
just,
do?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
You've
we
already
do.
approved it all, you know what I mean? And then
And
it's
we've
a final.
taken, right,
I
and then
see.
you have to change it if
Yes.
you knock something back.
Right.
So, and can you just take a lump, can you just knock it by 100 grand? And if you do that, where does it come fall
you
in the
gotta go
budget?
all the way
Correct,
back.
then you're gonna go all the way back through again.
And
Oh.
find a home for all that?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that we can't do that this year.
And
Not this
last
year,
year,
especially.
we always have that article that lists out revenue sharing, LRAP and homestead and all the animal control and all the little things, all the places, and then fund balance. And it was small and you get a total and they vote on it. However, LRAP and revenue sharing, the state has said you don't have to vote on those because anymore.
I read a lot of other towns' warrant articles. Between what they combined and how many, I mean, a lot of towns don't have anywhere near many articles.
No, they bundle it all.
They bundle it all right.
Yeah.
We need this money to run the town.
Yeah.
Just about, I mean.
It's almost that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 3 articles, done.
Wow.
But it's even all the rest of this, I mean, this year, we're not even budgetary.
Right.
And we're up to 28,
Yeah.
Well,
so.
yeah, there are a few on here that are.
So 7's gone.
Okay, yeah.
So
We'll keep
put
moving
it
on.
back. You approved 8 last time with the minimum 2%. 9.
Again, we don't need 8, do we? It's already inherently built in.
Nope. Percentage was different last year, and if you do not have this in your
It's a
warrant,
percentage you got you
the
this time.
state will hit you for the highest percentage.
Oh, I see what you're, okay, yep.
That's why we got to do
And that's why we recommend 2.
that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
That one's.
Oh, 9, okay,
9,
good.
10, 11 you have donations, 12 grants, licensed plumbing inspector. Last time in 14, I didn't have the exact amount for 4 Winds, but it's 60904.
Oh, yeah.
It's what they're
That's good.
getting, and they're really going to want it the minute we actually pass the budget.
Article 9, just, that there's you've got a space before, it's just a space before 2C, just, it's an indentation.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yep.
I mean, that's just a.
Yep, I see it. Got it. Okay, 15. We have to do this one because the auditor says I need it every year.
Okay.
Articles 16 and 17 I ran by MMA. They've approved these 2 articles. However, they recommend that we do an ordinance. Remember, we've had this conversation, why can't we do it by article? I said my board prefers to do it by article. They recommend an ordinance. I said, well, our ordinances tend to get not viewed and get old and not reviewed and renewed enough. We'd rather do policy and or warrant articles. They disagree.
But we can revisit that next
We
year.
can revisit that, but this is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Then we have the fire department ordinance.
Before, we did not get any clarification on this 30% untouchable. Okay, if we don't have it, we'll just move on, but none of us believe that's possible.
No.
But anyway.
Says it?
I would honestly just keep it normal because we can't explain it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I
Just leave it at 100% for now because it's all going in there. You're gonna
You
change
would?
it. You're gonna have to explain it and you don't think it's right. I don't believe it's right. I'd spend it.
You mean the whole?
Yeah. I would use it on the cemetery.
Yeah, I don't know whoever is gonna grouse, but that's another issue,
Yeah.
but.
Well, yeah, I mean, I assume people probably think that every year we're taking in that money.
Right.
And it's
And
used.
it's
spending it.
used for the cemetery.
Right.
Right.
And truth be told,
It hasn't.
it's $1,000 to $2,000. And our cemetery budget is $15,000, and
I
On
would,
top of that.
I would just use it.
Something to think about.
I talked to MMA, I had a guy talk to himself in a circle, and by the time he was
Yep.
done.
Yeah.
So, we do need to revisit it. I can reword it if you want me to.
No, I just, when I saw that, it just reminded me
Okay.
of that, that's all.
Okay. So then if we go down to, and on Article 17, MMA said, well, he wanted to know why I was setting the fee at $25 because the registry is only gonna charge us 19. And I said, well, that's for me dealing with the mess, it's the agent fee.
Sure.
That's
I'll have to do
our
that.
product. Just again, 2C and Article 17, the
Oh, it's
T
got a bold
is
based.
bold.
Yeah. I'll fix that. Okay. Fire department ordinance, we had final approval by our lawyer, and it's short enough that I'll attach it with a warrant.
This would be great if we could say recommended by the chief and assistant chief, or however, whatever officers.
I would just say recommended by the fire department.
Yep, however we wanna
Yeah.
label that, but
Yeah.
By them and us.
they work together with us on it, and so.
Yeah.
We can add that. Okay. And so for the amended shoreline, we're adding the planning board.
Yeah.
Yep,
I did send it to DEP because when I was talking about, what happens if this doesn't pass, the gentleman said, make sure that you get all references to timber harvesting out of the chart on page 14 and the definitions. And I said, or the state might not pass it, they might send it back to you to.
I think everybody's gonna understand at the meeting that you need to sign it. I mean, it's the
Right,
minimum
right.
state requirement.
Well, when you sign it, then the state has to sign off. And if you forget to remove something because we've made them in charge of timber harvesting, they can come back at you and say, do it again. And do it again. So unless she finds something that I've missed, I had left the definition for timber harvesting in there, and so I put in Bureau of Forestry will be enforcing all timber harvesting in shoreline zoning. So that I thought the definition needed to stay because it's important for people to know that.
Well, and we had a question that at the hearing, as far as commercial, you were talking about commercial.
And it explains very clearly
Yeah,
that it's commercial, and it's over 2 acres and.
Right,
you
right.
know,
And
so I think-
there is, what's the word?
Ambiguity.
Right, or people don't understand
Yeah,
what
right.
commercial,
Right,
right, zone, okay.
and because it says that, Part O of some section was timber harvesting that says repealed.
Yeah,
So that lets them know what
that's
was
good.
repealed, and so hopefully that will pass muster and we can, just move forward with what we have. Okay, so Article 20. Shall an ordinance entitled Property Maintenance Ordinance be repealed? We decided that we didn't think we could get the very specific ordinance that the lawyers in us passed, so.
Sorry.
$5 fine.
Okay.
What?
So $5 fine.
Mine went off a minute ago. I don't think we need to say anything else.
Yeah, it'll open the floor for discussion,
Yeah,
we'll
talk
explain
about it.
why we're doing it,
Yep.
and mention maybe putting together a committee to work on a working ordinance.
And I'm gonna have sheets to sign up for committees, and that'll be one of them. So if I can get anybody to sign up for anything, hopefully they will do that. Okay, next article is to see if the town will approve winter maintenance for the Turner Road with a description from the North Dexter Road, Route 23, approximately 2,875 feet to the driveway owned by Timothy and Donna Burt for the property listed as map 4, lot 8-4.
I think I just would put Burke property.
Well, I think they want another piece, so I was just.
Well, the map and lot is
Needs to happen
fine.
long.
Yeah.
So you don't have to say Timothy and Donovan,
Correct.
just
Okay, you don't
owned
want,
by,
I
or,
think Timothy's deceased.
is he?
Oh,
If that,
Driveway for the property.
unless it's her son or
You
something.
got it right to the foot, so you really don't need to
Correct.
verbiage anything.
Yeah, it was in the last time they actually passed this, and I just copied it, so I'll remove it. So I'll just have to say 2,875 feet to the driveway for the property listed as map 4 lot 84.
Perfect.
perfect.
And I will do that for the next
Less is
article
more.
as
Yeah, yeah.
well.
So you wanna group these, what do you wanna do?
What's that?
You gonna leave them all separate, you wanna group them?
Separate.
Well, one is winter and one's summer.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but you're gonna pick and choose if we're gonna plow
Well-
somebody's road?
No. The only one that doesn't have winter is Milton Mills, and we don't want to plow Milton Mills, and we haven't been plowing Milton Mills.
No, in fact, we would like to block it.
Yeah,
You also got the West Road.
We are now.
I didn't put it on here, you could,
It's part of the conversation.
but it's a town way. That's why it's different. Jack
Yeah, the
Corner, Turner Road, and Milton Mills.
Right, but it
we
was
took
only being plowed because of town vote.
Well, it was ignored for several years, and
Just the last couple.
what's that?
Yeah, I know, it's
Yeah.
the last few of us.
And then we plowed it.
Mm-hmm.
So if they chose not to plow it,
Well, that's what I'm
you'd
saying.
have a problem. These have
That's why-
always been on the schedule.
Well, that was too, that's what I'm saying, is it
Well,
fell
that
off.
But
was,
then it
that was
wasn't.
closed
So
winter
haven't
maintenance, so you,
These have fallen off.
Oh, these,
No,
if
no,
these
no.
have fallen off, okay, she's saying no, they
they're,
haven't.
they're different.
I
Well, yes,
understand, but they have fallen off from being voted on. They've
Correct.
not always been voted on
Correct.
when they were supposed to be voted on.
Correct. And
Are they
MMA
current, though?
has said to me that you have no authority to do any summer maintenance or winter maintenance on these three roads unless you have approval at town meeting. Now, they're different than the West Road because the rest, that 1 mile of West Road is still a town way.
Okay,
These had all been discontinued. We went to the abutting landowners and they gave us an easement. That easement allows us to
that makes total sense to me.
do maintenance as long as we get.
These have a different status.
They have a different
Yeah.
status.
Yeah.
In fact, I gave you a couple of handouts.
But my question is do you want to leave them all individually, or do you want to say?
I'd bundle them.
You'd
If they all
bundle-
have the same status,
That's what I'm saying.
I'd bundle them.
So.
But
wanna
then
see
you,
if
but then you can't pick and choose your roads.
But the other
Do you
thing
want-
is,
I
it would
mean-
be such a huge bundle.
No, it wouldn't. It's gonna say to see if the town will approve winter maintenance for the Turner Road.
Yeah, but,
For
the-
Jackman
oh,
Pond
so
Road.
you don't think it needs to be as specific as these?
You
Say
list
from
them
the
all
Dexter.
with one vote.
No, I know, but I mean, each one of these, it says, point, Dexter Road 2, Route 23, approximately
I would-
.6. You don't think it needs that
The rest of them don't. It says you know what I mean? 0.6 miles. Or just a foot. We don't have to put all the, I don't think you need driveways and landowners and maps and lots.
All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do a road inventory. And so when 20 years from now, somebody else is trying to figure out what the heck we did, they know exactly.
Well, what I like about this is you have to do this every year. So
Right.
this won't get lost 20 years from now.
Correct.
Because we'll have done it 19 times.
Correct.
So we can bundle these,
So
I
you can
think.
bundle,
Right, you're still voting for it.
They're all the same status.
All I'm saying is you can't pick and choose because I'm pissed off at the guy that lives on.
Well,
Jackson.
that's my next
Okay.
question.
That's why I don't.
Once it's
that's why I
open to
don't
the
wanna do
floor,
it.
can
Gotcha.
somebody pull Knowlton, can they
Can
pull?
pull one off.
Pull one off. I don't think, yeah, you could because you'd be
You're lessening
reducing
the
the
value.
yeah, 'cause
expenditure.
then you can't
Yeah.
spend money on it.
Yeah,
But now I see a point there. That-
That's why
Yeah, you could get a group of people that are voting against one road.
Sure. You could have a Hatfield
But-
McCoy situation and.
Right.
still could happen, but it would
It's
be a
still-
lot more
It's gonna
difficult.
be a lot more
to
complicated.
Pull out one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think you can still pull them out.
Yeah,
Well, you can pull out
can.
money,
Lessen the value.
you can reduce the value, but I don't know that you can, in other words, probably what should happen is this bundle should have a dollar value attached to it.
What I'm wondering is.
Because that's really what we're asking for, is the money.
Well,
But the way it's verbiage, I don't think you could pull it out because you're not saying you're gonna spend a specific dollar amount on either road.
Well, that's why
So I don't
I'm
think you
saying.
could pull
and we might not do any summer maintenance other than grading. I mean,
True.
No, but that's what I'm
That's
saying.
a
I
good
don't think
point,
you
too.
could, I don't think you could, without a dollar value, I don't think you could just pull one out.
I don't think so either.
So I kinda like bundling them even more.
Okay, so you want.
If you're comfortable with doing it that way, I think it's better.
I do too, that's why I think it's better for the residents of all the roads. I mean,
Yeah.
we're already saying we're doing it. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
I don't see, it's not like you're reinventing or adding cost or anything. It's something that's been going on for a long time.
Okay, I will take 21, 22, 23, and 24. I will bundle them to say, to see if the town will approve summer and winter maintenance for the following roads. I will put Turner Road and the description, and Jackman Corner Road and the description, and then I'm leaving Knowlton Mills separate because you're only approving
That's
summer.
a different question, yep.
Yeah.
I agree with
I
that.
believe that's what the easement says is for, that we're only
It may-
allowed to do summer maintenance.
It might,
The way that was
It
brought
might.
back to us.
but you still have to approve it. And you can't approve winter because I didn't put it on there.
Right. That's good, I like that, clean that up.
Yeah,
Alright.
I like that. I'd have two. Oh, yeah, that's way better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one and done. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I will guarantee you, there'll be conversation on the floor. Why did we do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna say we put it for you.
Okay, so that gets us to 26. To see if the town will authorize the Board of Selectmen to dispose of the 1990 John Deere 4100 crawler dozer.
That's not 41.
I just took the description off the assessment of the,
I think so. 4100 was a long one.
maybe, it said crawler dozer. So we'll just take the 4100 out.
Yep, that's all you need to do.
Okay.
Um,
Someone's gonna raise their hand and say, well, how much? Is there a minimum? I'm guessing someone's gonna say that.
Yep.
Do you want me to put in parentheses what the last
That's one way. We could say through a bid process, assure them that it's not an inside deal, in other words, it's gonna
I
be
would,
open.
I mean, if we were, to me, my opinion, if you wanted, what you could do is you could call down to one of the places we got it and say, hey, we're gonna be selling these. You wanna come up and look at them? They would give us a real, what they think they're worth.
Yeah, I don't,
And then do a bid or however, but at least you'd know, have something.
I mean, the process it's gonna be an auction essentially. We're gonna open it up to the best offer we can get on all of these items, right? So, but do we need to include that in this?
How we're going to sell them.
No, but I mean, just same deal, just verbiage it how you did. I mean.
Okay, I mean, when it comes up for discussion,
Between the bidding process and an auctioning process, that's all.
what do you mean?
Because I think if we go to the auction, then we actually have to get an auction person.
You know, it's funny, Kerner auctions everything.
Do they?
Yeah, their selectmen do it.
Really?
They call it that. I mean, that's what they say, we're auctioning this, but
Well,
they're
what if
just
you
taking
verbiage
bids.
that way? You're not selling it for bids, you're selling it for best offer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't,
That's how you advertise it, then that's not a bid.
I've seen it where bidding has actually worked out to our advantage.
Yes. Yes,
So-
sealed bid,
Yes.
Yeah.
submitted sealed bids.
So do you, am I adding any parentheses?
No, I think those are
No,
good.
I
I was just kind of
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Just what you
anticipating what we might get
I'm
ready
just
for,
trying to
yeah.
figure out where we landed.
So, yeah, we're gonna, your description is fine, you're just gonna take the 4100 out. The loader, is it a WA 206? Okay.
Pretty sure it is.
Again, I got it off paperwork, I wouldn't know one way or the other. All right, and the last article, to see if the town will authorize the town manager. I don't know if we should put select board or agent to sign the town up for rapid renewal.
Well-
I still need to do, between now and the 19th, I need to do some more research
I would
on,
just verbiage it to authorize the town to sign up for
is the town to sign up?
Yeah.
Sign up for
Are we
rapid-
clear as to how much revenue this will cost us?
up to.
How much it could cost us.
Initially, we thought it was significant, but then I'm not so sure it was.
Well, if everybody did it, it would cost you upwards of $7,500.
But we wouldn't be involved in any process. We wouldn't spend any
Well-
labor on it.
No, the only
Right.
labor comes at the end of the month when you have to, now we send a report to the state and they have to update their system. They'd be sending us the report and we have to update our system.
Right. But no, every one of those that's done, there's no interaction.
Right.
No back and forth, no conversation.
So how
No
many
checks.
registrations?
No bounce checks.
How much,
No.
How many registrations is that about?
I think if you look,
I mean, do we do 1,000, 2,000?
I think we did over 1,600 last year, and
So-
this one.
It's quite a bit of time savings.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge.
Right here.
And more to the point, we've had residents that have expressed an interest in this
And the year before was
convenience.
1859.
So, if,
And is this for, could this be for snowmobiles, for hunting? I mean, I know hunting
No
license.
boats,
no boats.
no boats.
Why is
License-
that?
Don't know.
Is that the state says no boats?
State says no.
Oh,
Okay, so,
No new regs.
okay,
Yeah.
right, no new regs.
so you're gonna get the
You're
big
gonna get
one.
knocks out a
all the
lot.
ticket,
Yep.
You
right?
get the excise money.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Right,
You
okay.
just- You're, all you're losing are the,
Is the agent fee.
at the agent fees.
In exchange for not having to do it.
And, I'm still trying to find out if everybody who does it is charged the credit card fee. Because the reason we have to charge that credit card fee is because Infamy, makes us as a way of paying for their service, so I don't know if they charge it or not. The other thing is, I guess we did rapid renewal some years ago, and I don't know why we are no longer doing rapid renewal. So I don't know. And I don't know if I can find out why.
I honestly don't care.
Can you do trailers?
You can do trails anyway.
I think so.
We already can do trailers?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Non-residents can do them, have been able to do them forever. They actually get a better deal than we do. Never
Okay.
understood that, but.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. There's more trails
When-
registered in the state of Maine than there is in any state in the United States.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a loophole,
Yeah, it's a big loophole.
yeah. Yeah.
They give a
But
very
deal-
large discount
Dealers, yeah,
for
dealers.
multi-year
Oh.
out-of-state registrations. So a lot of fleet trucks and stuff.
Huh.
Does it take, how much time does it take that you report to the state? I mean, you know, it's,
Lorna started reaching out to some other clerks to find
right.
out.
I mean,
the
so
state
now they're
says
sending you the report and you're
the state
taking.
says it's somewhere between an hour and 2 hours, but I don't know.
Maybe like, that'd be the equivalent of what, 3 registrations?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that the time swap is gonna be.
No,
It's gotta save time.
right,
It's a lot.
yeah.
Well, unless no one does it.
Correct.
True,
And then
true, true.
then you didn't lose anything, so.
That's true.
That's all,
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I'm surprised this even requires a vote. To me, this is,
It
It
doesn't,
doesn't.
but you guys wanted me to.
you wanted to vote, too.
oh, okay. All right.
It doesn't.
Well, that's fine. I don't care either way.
If it would've been a couple $1,000, I'd have been, yeah, let's just do it, but
Right.
it could be a lot of money. I mean,
But that means it's a lot of hours.
I understand that.
Okay,
I'm fine either way.
We'll put it on there, see
Yeah,
what the
let's put
interest
it
Well,
on.
and apparently you can sign up and unsign up again if you don't.
is. D-sign.
yeah.
We got a D-sign. Okay. All right.
That's good.
So, we need, if we're going for the 19th, I really need this, need to be able to post this by the 9th.
Okay.
So, could you give me a motion to make the changes that we have agreed upon and then come sign it on the 9th?
Yep.
Tonight?
The 9th is Monday. I believe.
You'll send us a reminder to come in and sign it.
Oh yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we probably should get an electronic copy so that we can all,
Yeah, lay our eyes
eagle eye
on it.
here, can
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
at it again.
Yeah.
And then,
So
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we are going to, like, you go ahead and make the
Final corrections?
final corrections, and that we'll come and sign it on the 9th.
second. Any more discussion?
Yes.
See? He was waiting for that.
I may want to add something
Oh,
on Friday.
On Friday, to
This
this, to the warrant?
Yep.
Ooh.
Do you wanna
Okay.
share what you might add?
I have somebody that has expressed an interest in the town garage in that piece of property. I don't know, I'm supposed to talk with them again on Friday, I don't know, I think they're very serious, but I'm hoping by Friday I might know a lot more. So, if I could, if there's a chance with this happening this quickly, to add that as a warrant article, is that something you guys would want to think about? If you don't, then we don't have to worry about it. We
Right.
can,
Well, I mean,
we can go-
I guess if we had to have a special, so what you're saying is we might need to have a meeting on Monday the 9th?
Yeah, or Friday.
Or Friday or Saturday or.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if this, if he expects a pretty good interest in, I mean, I know what the assessed value is, I know what it's on the tax card for. And if the number comes out pretty good, so that I think you guys, it might be an interest to the town, then I just think we may want to talk about it. Or if you don't want, we can wait until.
I would
later
say,
on.
I think based on what you find, if you think
Okay.
that there's something worth
Yeah.
discussing, then we should
Meet.
energize and get it
Okay.
done.
All right.
Because that would be, who knows?
So what is the date Friday?
6th.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, date's 4th.
So that still gives,
Yeah, it still fits.
okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah, it's just keep
And it's
us,
pretty simple that for,
Sure.
to be, to see if the
So,
town authorized to sell the.
Do you know, will you know by the end of the day on Friday if there's any potential
so.
there? Okay, because maybe we should just tentatively plan on a Saturday morning meeting.
oh, there you
Let's
go.
just get through Friday. Well, I mean,
Or 4
think
o'clock.
about it and I can.
Or 4 o'clock Friday, I
Yeah,
don't mind.
See how it goes Friday.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we can cancel the meeting on Friday.
Yep. I don't have a definite time slot.
Okay.
Okay.
If that changes, we might want to get something posted, that's all.
Yep.
So, to keep us in all
Oh,
the loop.
yeah, that might, yeah,
Yep, let me see if I can get a time tomorrow.
Okay.
okay.
And then that way we could. I just hate like I'll post something and then.
No, we don't want
have
to
the
do
time change, and then people
No.
think you're doing,
Right, right.
But if it's Saturday morning at 9, that's
Yep.
fine.
Whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. That would be interesting.
Yes?
Okay. So, I think we can advance Jody's motion,
yeah,
and
definitely.
then
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
we have another meeting, we will amend that
We'll
motion.
have.
Okay,
Yep, add
okay.
to it. Yep,
Okay, so we all vote?
yep, good.
All three in favor?
Very good.
New business, we did a culverts and beaver. B.
Okay, I believe I sent you Ben Nugent's quote for cleaning out the culverts on Anderson Road, trapping the beaver, and then putting up, what is it called? It's not a receiver, it's
When
Oh,
did you send
leveler.
it?
A long time ago.
yeah,
week
no,
ago.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
No.
What on earth?
I don't think so.
I'm going to print it. Be right back.
What is that called, Dale? A leveler?
The leveler, I think.
Okay. Should
Take a recess.
Yeah,
Just
should we
print
recess?
All right, we're
it.
5
Sorry.
minutes to
Friday's
5.
printed
We vote
stuff.
to take a break. Okay, our break is over. Motion to go back into our meeting. And we've got a document. Has to do with the beaver.
Okay, as I was saying, we had USDA come out and look at the culverts on Anderson Road at the end of Center Pond. The person recommended that we trap the beaver first, and then we put in something called a leveler. Dale probably can explain that better than I can, but it's out of ways from the culvert, and you put a culvert up to it so that the beaver hear the noise there, and they start to build their dam out here, and then they leave your culvert alone. So I agreed to get a quote. This is what Ben Nugent from the USDA sent me. personnel compensation, that would be wages for trapping, and that's a full week. The supplies and materials have gone up during COVID, it's hard to get a hold of them, but that's 1,100. What I haven't been able to find out is what the pool job costs mean and the indirect costs are. I have a call into Ben, and he and I have been playing phone tag, but the bottom line is 22,1148. Question is it worth spending that amount of money to fix the problem? Or do we want to spend a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, cleaning it out every year?
I can't confirm this, but supposedly the recent legislature with the fish and game rules addressed nuisance beaver. And if my understanding is correct, it may be now, or about to be, that you notify the warden of your nuisance beaver. They will persuade you to trap as best you can, but at the end of the day, if it's not feasible, you're allowed to destroy the beaver. Which is a huge change in Maine law, if that is indeed true. Certainly worth looking into before we spend, because that obviously is a much cheaper and more permanent solution if we're allowed to do that.
It's less permanent because every year or two you're going to have another beaver.
That if that colony is taken out, it'll be many years before, usually.
Yes.
But
Are you sure? And the only reason why I say that is because we trapped the hell out of that.
yeah, it just depends on the food
You know what I
source.
mean? So we're already, I know we didn't shoot them, but we trapped them and we hired them out of there quite a few different times, and it's an endless cycle. Same way on the other part. It doesn't.
For $2,200, you could destroy a lot of beaver.
We're still gonna have to hire someone to do it. So
I don't think that would be that difficult.
I don't care.
But first we need to know if it's even possible. Like I said, I have not seen the legislation.
I'll call Davis.
He would know about
Oh, yeah,
it.
there you go, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's still on the
And,
committee, but he used to
and the
be
Fish
on
and
it.
Wildlife is gonna know about it.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, and I've got the local ordinance number in my phone, so I'll find somebody.
I'm curious how that's gonna work, because you're not just gonna let anybody and their brother go shoot on somebody else's property.
That's
now it
true,
may
too.
be
You know
property
what I mean?
owners only, or municipality, maybe, because we've got another one that's not on your list here.
It's on Silver's Mill.
It's on Silver's Mills. It's not the culvert that's blocked. It's downstream and it's backing up to the culvert. So our road is flooding, or it's right up to the top of the culvert, but the beaver hasn't blocked anything at the culvert.
Right.
It's on someone's
Down
property.
further.
We had an issue like that on Milton Mills, and I did send the warden out. He couldn't find the blockage, so.
No, I mean, it could be hundreds and hundreds of yards away, depending. In fact, Dale and I were looking at it on Google Earth. I think it's Alder Brook.
It is all.
So it's just a very low, it could be up there, quarter mile in. Now, I don't know what authority the municipality has in that case, but anyway, it's always something new.
Well, think about Harlow Pond on the other side of the causeway there. That whole thing's what, 4 feet deep?
Yeah,
I mean,
one
how-
beaver could create
but I'm
that
just,
pond.
how far is that across that friggin' thing?
That's right.
That's all that is, 4 feet. So it doesn't take much to do it. So
No, and that remedy may be more for a landowner than a municipality.
Yeah.
Because I could see some people getting pretty riled up about if the municipality decided to shoot
Oh,
the
yeah,
animal.
oh, yeah.
Some people would be
Oh,
angry.
yeah.
I know they
So-
trap the beaver, who do you say, Inland
But they're
Fish and
trapping them
Wildlife?
live.
Trap them live.
Yeah.
yeah, but then
Inland Fish
euthanize
and
them.
Wildlife.
Do they?
Yeah, the USDA. I mean, same way with like we're doing with pigeons right now. They trap them. Their rules are very strict. So like with the pigeon situation we have, they actually have it's a very large trap, and it's full of feed and water. I mean, if they're in the trap, they have to be treated humanely.
Right.
Trap has to be in the shade,
Sure,
can't be in the sun. It's got to have food. It's got to have water. And
Before
then
you euthanize it.
Before you euthanize them. But that's what they do. They basically have a miniature gas chamber and they euthanize them.
Oh, my
And that's
gosh.
what, so when we were talking to him, because that day, I know in years past, when we've trapped out there, I heard of the same person, but multiple complaints, because he used to walk his dog up and down that road. And he was always afraid, because traps weren't clearly marked.
Oh.
You know, his dog would get into one. And I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of the trap that guy used, but they're very humane. It's more of a trap that would encapsulate the beaver rather than, you know, to actually trap you in.
Yeah, it's a live trap, not a
So-
fawn bear.
But he's gonna euthanize it as soon as we get some out of there.
Yeah,
Because
you
the
would think it would
non-vicious
just use a
wildlife
killer trap, do it all.
Didn't really want
It has to be humanely.
If I'm a beaver, anyway. So we have another issue though on that road, and that is, before we would put money into this strategy,
Correct.
we gotta decide whether we wanna lower that culvert or not.
I would like to figure out, I mean, do we do more research? Do I take the one, I mean, that lady who was there, she clearly said, that never used to be a bog, that was always just a little stream up through there.
Until
So,
the culvert got.
If
So
we
that
were gonna
culvert
spend that kind of money,
Yeah.
we might
Why
wanna
not?
We
get
might wanna
optimum
correct.
height before we even
Sure.
start that.
And if
Yeah.
you did that, it might actually, well, they're gonna try to plug it, but I mean, it's gonna
Right, at
get you
least-
on the right start.
Right,
Yeah, but what's 2,200 if you are working on that road, replacing the culverts, and it's gonna be a,
no, I'm just, if we're gonna,
Fix
if
it.
we're gonna protect the culvert, we might, maybe we wanna protect an optimal culvert,
Right,
instead, rather
exactly.
than what we
Right.
have right now, which is kind of a mini dam,
Right.
so.
Cause that's the worst part, cause you're back to that same theory about backing that up.
Yeah, we're
forever.
holding water against the side of that road all the time, because our culvert is, regardless of the beaver,
Right.
because
But
our
we've
culvert's too
actually,
high.
we flooded out somebody's property for a lot of, you look at that on Google, it's huge. That bog comes up through there, I mean. I think it would be easy to say 40 or 50 acres up through there is flooded because of that, those culverts.
And we got water lying against the side of our road, which
Mhm.
doesn't help us at all.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Not even a little.
so, those two probably ought to be linked, but,
I am actually impressed, I thought that number was gonna be higher.
Really?
Yep, I did.
no, that seems
I
reasonable if
thought
it
the
works.
material cost was gonna be worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because
and
what
the
he's,
personnel cost could be lower, they give you like a 5
they give
day.
the highest number they think.
Yeah.
And is there any guarantee, like this will work for X number of years, or? No.
Can't imagine it would be, but I bet
But
it will
like
work
he-
pretty well.
He said the one on 15's been there for what, 2 or 3 years now?
Yeah.
He
And it's,
said he screwed up the first time because they had it set so it was too high. So it let the bog stay too high, they had to go back out, they readjusted it, so it got the.
Yeah, you can get it to wherever you want it, yeah.
Yeah, you set the height.
wow.
Because all you're really doing is you're putting like a screen over the culvert, over our culvert.
Right,
And then you're running another culvert into it.
okay.
And that's going out to, so when you go up 15, you can see that square basket out into the bog.
Yep,
So that's what it's doing. That's what's regulating the water height, and that's letting the water get into our culvert.
You also can see that that bog is much smaller.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's, the footprint's
That's true.
Oh,
already.
it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of neat how it works because they just hear the one, they hear it going into the culvert. They don't correlate that it's
That
going
it's-
in from up here. So they just work like hell at your culvert trying to bog it, and it's not going to do them any good. So
Seems mean.
it does.
Okay, anything more on,
All right. So we
Culverts
threw a
would be
couple
able-
things up. Do we want to get a price on lowering culverts? Do we want to do anything?
I would definitely get a price on lowering that culvert. Because whether we do this or not,
There's a
that's not
bigger- there's a
optimal
bigger
right now.
problem.
I would really question if you lowered that culvert, you need 2-3 footers there.
oh, that's
But I mean,
not
I
my
would ask
wheelhouse.
that,
Yeah.
because you're gonna put it back to a stream this big. So,
And will a beaver clog up no matter how big the culvert is?
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
I've seen them actually cross the entire Sebastopol River when the water's low enough for them to get a foothold.
Oh.
Now,
He was-
when winter comes, it gets blasted out, but
Okay.
they'll,
Oh, so it doesn't
he was
matter.
told us about those, or what, I don't know what you call them, the big concrete
Yeah.
square
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
He was telling us about some of those that he's gone to that they plugged.
Wow. So there's,
I've seen dams that are several hundred yards long.
wow. Amazing.
Yeah, my neighbor
They're
says
impressive.
he saw a mother and 3 babies swim by the camp.
They are, all muscle.
Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, anything further on that?
Nope.
Appeals board appointments.
I believe there are 4
There.
Oh.
on the table there. Paul Davis, Rick Pellerin, Virginia Wark, and Eric Stumpfeld have all agreed to be on the Appeals Board of Appeals. The way that is, that will give us a full board until next year when I think Cynthia Hall is up. But we haven't had a full board. Our ordinance says that you have 60 days to fill a vacancy, so
Fortunately, we haven't had an issue.
we haven't had an issue.
Since.
3 or 4, maybe. I think it's been 3 or 4 years, and before that it was like 7 in between. And the 2 issues were related, so,
I don't remember the meeting.
well, I was talking to Denny. She was on the last one. So that'll give us a full appeals board.
So, I'll make the motions. Should I split it up between the when they expire, their terms expire? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, we've listed them in the town report, so
Okay.
we'll have a record
So I'll just
of them.
make a motion with the thing. So I'll make a motion to appoint for the Board of Appeals, Richard Pellerin, Paul Davis, Virginia Wark, and Eric Stumpfeld.
Second.
Any further discussion? We'll vote. It's all unanimous.
Do we need to?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay, I understand.
While we're signing, that's an interesting combination, the town manager report, heat pumps and marijuana laws.
Well, you were asking what it would cost, or if we could hook another heat pump up to what we have. We cannot.
Okay.
I had been looking for somebody to clean the heat pumps. So,
I have a number.
well, I found somebody, it's called Superior, I don't know, Martin Landry.
That's where I was going.
He came and he's cleaned our pumps, and they were decidedly nasty. They've been
Overdue.
5 years.
Oh,
And they
jeez.
should be done either every other year. The pump in the library has a motor issue, and I've okayed him to come fix that next week. So we will not only have clean pumps, but fully functioning pumps in next week. And then, today while I was trying to make sure that I had everything ready with the warrant, somebody called and wanted to know if they could sell, what they needed to do to be a retailer of marijuana here in Sangerville. And so I pulled up all the laws, and basically they can't because we have not opted in.
Right.
Right, we opted out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we opted out.
And that was by
but
petition.
A little research said they were talking about the fact that they fall under the medical marijuana law, which was passed before the recreational adult use,
Yeah.
exactly. But they fall under the same thing if we haven't.
Yeah,
We
if I
have
remember
not
correctly,
been-
they had to be established prior to,
Yep.
Correct.
and we didn't have any that were, but we knew that countdown was taking place.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Out is out.
So they're out, and they basically said to me, well, we can petition, and I said.
Yes, they can.
Yes, you
Yes,
can.
you can.
Yes, you can.
They know what they're doing.
Yes.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, yep.
So,
Road Commissioner, driveway culverts, East Sangerville Road patch.
okay. Driveway culverts. I had another conversation with the contractor. Supposedly they're going to get those done. If nothing has been done next week, I'm going to switch contractors. But
Okay,
we came up with a plan.
And you have the list that I gave Lorna, or whatever, people keep calling me about driveway culverts. So.
No, to anybody other than, well, I knew,
Yeah, yeah.
Peggy, but I don't know.
Peggy, yeah, that was the
Alice-
newest one.
Alice called you, yeah.
And
Alice
then-
has called me. That might be an issue, because we've got to determine whether it's her driveway that's the issue, or if it's our culvert that's
it
the
makes no
issue.
difference.
Well, if her driveway
Doesn't
is
matter.
washing our
It's
culvert
our
out.
rule, it's the way our policy's written. It's our culvert.
It's our culvert, yeah.
It has to be replaced.
Doesn't have to be replaced, we're just gonna cover it.
I don't think you can cover it.
I don't know.
You already gotta go up over the culvert, because the culvert's coming
I
right in
don't
the ground.
know. I've talked to a contractor, he'll have to
Yeah,
figure it out.
it's gotta come.
You think so?
Yeah,
Okay,
both of them.
okay.
The other one's the same way, you can see the whole culvert's coming up out of the ground. You go over the culvert to get in the driveway.
Even Alex is saying, I don't have a culvert issue, I have a driveway issue. It's like,
I am the road and it's uphill to the driveway,
Yeah.
but now the culvert's pushed it all right up.
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get it reset. It was kind of on the top of the list.
And then that other person, I can't remember, Rebecca?
Oh, I've talked to
Her-
her. That one's on the list.
She calls me electrical. So.
So, as I
And
said,
wants
I-
me to guarantee that it's gonna be done before winter. So.
I'm pretty sure I can have that done. Again, if the contractor doesn't get it done in the next week or so, I'm just gonna pick another one.
Oh, yeah, you
One
gotta
of
move
them
on.
said that he might be able to get a couple of culverts done, so, when I reached out, so
Okay.
that's what's gonna happen. I've reached out to Eric Excavation, they're going to finish the culverts on East Sangerville. I'm still reaching out to Brownies and not getting anything back. The only paver that keeps in any contact with me is Hopkins, the one we hadn't heard much about, and they're willing to work us in should we ever get our act together to do our paving. But I'll call Roundies again. I called them 3 times this week. I don't know what's up. And as for the patch, Eric agreed to go pick up some patch and do Silver's Mills, Landers Hill, a couple he might do on East Sangerville until we get.
There's plenty to do on East Sangerville, although we're gonna pave it.
We're gonna pave it, so he might not waste it, he might.
But there's a
get
couple
golf.
big holes that should be hit.
Yes, and might get golf road as well, because
Yep.
that's complaints there.
Yep.
And that should start next week as well, so.
You wanna get a detail for your roads, get a bicycle. You really start to appreciate the roads, you know.
He had a spray paint.
Yep. I know all the beaver issues.
Take my tractor up to my daughter's, it's scary. I mean, you drive it that slow, it's like,
I can't believe somebody threw an air conditioner up there on the side of the road.
Oh, gosh.
You haven't heard anything from Rowdies.
Jeez.
Do we know that they are still operating? Do we even know that?
if you have duck them.
Well, I assume they are. The last thing I heard was the rumor that they'd lost their,
No, I don't want to deal with rumors.
okay. So we won't even-
We don't,
I think
are you
I
calling
saw.
their business phone or do you have their cell phone?
I have their cells.
I thought he had his cell.
I haven't called Ben's, I'll call Ben next.
Oh, okay.
I've been
Alright.
calling Lisa, I call the office and her cell. And they're interconnected, so when I call one, the other one
I
goes.
might even just drive right down there and go see him.
Aren't they in Newport?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have one.
I think I saw a Roundy's truck, a big Roundy's truck in Newport, driving around. Now, whether,
I imagine they're just busy.
yeah, but not returning your call. I mean, they've done a lot of work for us and we've told them.
They've never been great at returning
Right.
calls, but always better than this.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Don't have him.
Oh, and the other thing I wanted to hand out to you. Actually, I probably already gave it to you.
Didn't
You
we have
have-
somebody else to patch too?
Somebody else,
Well,
Oh,
Chummy?
Chummy told me he'd do patch.
he told me he wouldn't.
you're
Well-
kidding me.
How long ago did he tell you that? Because I got signatures from him 10 days ago and he told me he would do
Said he
patch.
would.
Right in his living room.
It hasn't been that long. I mean, it's not been that.
It was a few days before I turned in
Just
my
call it
signatures.
shits and giggles. See
It
what he
was-
says.
Tell him Mike
It
said.
was just
Yeah.
before before our last meeting.
Yeah, nope, just call him, and Mike suggested.
Mike said?
He told me in his living room that he would be happy to do patch. That's good news, right?
Yes,
That's awesome, that's good
it's
too.
wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because there's plenty to do.
yeah.
Take a whole loader, don't sell.
I was saying, just so was Mills Road, it's a crew for a
I don't
week.
know if you could get it all in the truck. Might have to get him to come in a low boy with a
Oh, no.
tractor trailer,
Oh,
bottom
God.
dumper.
Just between your house and Bob.
Oh, that's bad. There's one culvert on, I know that thing, I haven't even stopped to look underneath it, but that thing has gotta be this big.
Oh,
Because
no.
that whole side of the road is now
Oh,
caved in
no.
on one line.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, it's rough.
So is that the next piece we're doing? Is it worse than Flanders? I mean,
Yes,
okay,
I think it is. I think the other problem is it gets so much traffic.
okay,
And a lot of it's weighted and moving.
okay.
And it's not really a road.
No,
That's really, if we could put a limit on that one, that would be the one.
I really
don't think we
we
can,
have to
but-
get through town meeting, and that's one thing we really need to focus,
Work on.
figure out what we gotta do and make it happen.
Yeah.
Because it's killing that road.
That's the next.
The French's Mills Road is at a tipping point. You're not gonna believe how fast it's gonna deteriorate in the next 36 months.
Well, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you'd believe, oh, that's not too bad, but
Yeah.
it's going.
Ugh.
And it's the same reason, I have a lot of big trucks now, and I never used to. But,
That's because mine's going to craps, now they're going down the
Yeah.
road.
yeah,
Exactly.
a lot of them's logging, and they're loaded, and they're moving,
Wow. On that road?
yeah. That sharp bend right
Yeah,
there where the
yeah.
number 10 comes out, you can see that road is just
Whoa.
it's just falling apart. Anyway,
Wow.
So if we do a traffic ordinance, we can put a weight limit on those roads.
yeah, it would be in our interest to do whatever we are allowed to do to protect those
All
roads.
you have to do is get a traffic
Yep.
ordinance and then we can set.
I would love to, and at the same time, I think you're gonna find that if we, for what we got started in that traffic ordinance, we can get rid of a bunch of policies and other ordinances,
Right,
because it's all into one.
Yeah.
And that would be good.
So it would be a nice cleanup thing to do that.
So we'll
That'd
put-
be worthwhile.
We'll put traffic ordinance at the top of the list for after we get through town meeting. Alright, so I gave you 2 handouts on roads. I also have, I call E911, well, I actually emailed it the other day because I had an issue with, I was adding addresses and they would show on the aerial view, but when you just put the map view, they wouldn't show. And I had people complaining that I hadn't done their addresses when I very clearly had. And so the guy at E911 was going to fix them for me, but he said, oh, by the way, could you send us a list of all your addresses? We've got some grant money and we could, we'd like to work on yours.
You got another one, I'm skipping.
Oh, these?
No, that one.
I didn't give anybody that.
Oh, okay.
But all it is we have this number of
I don't have
buildings.
that
You shouldn't have this. We have this number of buildings that don't have addresses.
Is that two,
It's one page, one full page.
right, no, but is it 2 lists or is it?
No, one is the map of the
Oh,
lot,
okay.
one is which
Okay.
road, so I can
Gotcha.
figure out.
Gotcha, so
where-
it's that one
It's about
list.
50 addresses.
Okay, okay. But they don't have,
They have buildings on them, but no addresses.
oh,
And we know they have buildings because we have real estate cards with a picture of the building on them. Then I found at least 24 mistakes. I found 2 roads that we don't even have listed as addresses. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be working on cleaning up. These 2, this one is, it says in-town streets, townways, state aid highways, former roads, roads needing clarification, and private roads. Here. Anyway, I've been working on trying to get a road inventory. When John Simcoe was here as town manager, he and Alvina worked on this, and they listed in all the records, when we voted on closing or opening a road, I've been going through and marking which article in the town records it was and if it passed or not. Because if you read this list, some of these repeat multiple times, so you assume the first one didn't pass. It's not actually the case. I found them years back to back they passed. I found one that passed in 27 but then was voted on again in 41.
Right, that people forgot, or they started using it again, and so,
Yeah, so, but to clarify that list, I need to figure out where all these pieces of road are so that I can say, when it says Route 24 at Jackman Corner to the Parkwood Town line, that one's pretty clear. But if I'm talking about the Austin McEwen homestead and Kittredge Hill, so I'm getting closer, and the James Moulton to discontinue. So it's a stretch. I got to figure out where James Moulton was. Some of them are way more obscure than that, and they just say things like Raymond King and Freeman Eastler and the Flowing Farms to discontinue. So
where's the Nonsuch Road?
Nonsuch Road ran from Kittredge Hill down to the line road. Dearth Road came from Dexter and ran up to the line road.
So somewhere, you're saying Kittredge Hill, but you know where Debbie Cunningham lives?
Sort of, yes.
So somewhere right there, across from it, I've asked her about this, because there was a piece of property out there for sale. I couldn't figure out, I drove forever, I never found out how to get to it. But I finally, there's an old tote road right there by Debbie's house, across from her, and that runs all the way out, like towards the line road. So I'm wondering if...
That's probably the
That's what when you just said Kittredge Hill, I was wondering if that's what that...
The problem with Kittredge Hill is, I think it was all, well, at one point it was all called the Lowe's Bridge Road.
Correct.
And it went from Lowe's Bridge to Gilman Corner.
Correct.
And then they started chopping off pieces of it. And since then, we've named pieces of it McNaughton Hill. We've, supposedly the discontinued pieces are Kittredge Hill.
Correct.
And then you get to the South Sangerville Grange piece, and so there's a lot of work that needs to be done to figure out what we discontinued and what we haven't. This colored one shows, I found a 1919 road inventory, and so in that 1919 road inventory, like it lists the first road as the back road to Dover. I've identified that as Downey Hill, and it's State Aid Highway. I call it it's State Aid Highway. Was at one time State Aid Highway 2, because some things refer to it as State Aid Highway number 2. And so that one I can tell. Lowe's Bridge Road is mostly, one piece of it's East Sangerville, piece of it's Kittredge Hill. Flanders Road in the 1919 inventory is the Flanders Hill Road. Cleves Road was the Gray Road. But then I can go through and figure out if I can identify what's what from here. I can't tell you exactly where the Drake Road was. Goff and Carl Roads, I think, were off the Turner Road, or maybe pieces of it were the Turner Road. When I was doing Turner Road research, those were two names that kept coming up. Courier Road, I still have no clue exactly.
Is Jackman Corner good all the way through to Goff Road? Can you drive through it? No?
It didn't come out of Goff Road.
It
comes out, well, it
comes out on the next road.
It does. It comes out of Parkman's.
I know. I don't dare say it, 'cause I know why you want to know.
yeah.
I know they ride dirt bikes through there. but I don't know, I've been in through to the,
I haven't been through many years.
I've been in through the end of the old farm, where they used to hay, I've never been past it.
There is a big field.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's hell to get to it, but pretty rough.
All right, so I'm not going there.
Yeah, well, I know they sold all that too, so maybe they've cleaned it up in there, but.
But we maintain to the parkman line? We don't?
We maintain 6/10 of a mile.
Okay.
Yeah, right to the top of the hill, basically.
Oh, okay. Well,
You go up there, you'll figure it out, you'll see it.
Oh,
instantly.
yeah, well, the
Yeah.
townhouse was very obvious.
Yep.
You asked me about the number 10 road. I found it was 1950 that was discontinued.
That's like, to me, it's interesting that Anderson Road always went down to the culvert area. And the Anderson Road, as far as my camp is on, that road wasn't there. So when they built that road, you already had these other roads, and then they just continue naming,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You would
Yep.
have, back then, you would have thought that road wouldn't have been named Anderson. You would have thought they would have renamed
Right.
that piece of that, but they didn't. It's kind of confusing. Because when you get to that intersection, everybody thinks the Anderson Road is, the good road looks like it goes straight, it's not, that's Gower Road.
Yeah.
Right.
Goes to
You
Bub
had
Carl's
said
house,
that,
yeah, so.
But the road that goes to Bub Carl's, would that have been a piece of the old Anderson
I don't know.
Road?
I have no idea. If it did, I don't know how they could have renamed the road that went this way.
Well,
Anderson.
because it was discontinued so long ago that
I don't know.
it disappeared, I don't know. So yeah, so you wanted some clarification on things like the Eastwood Road, used to be the Bennett Road. Until I find out what all of these place names are in here, I can't for certain say that.
Some of them, I think it's just a matter of picking a point and saying, this is where we're gonna discontinue, just exactly like we did with the Gray
You're
Road.
going to need to do that with the Eastwood Road.
Yep, yep.
It's stated multiple times that only 1/10 of that road is what we maintain. However, I don't believe we've discontinued anything.
But it's not as complicated as we all feared that it was. Basically, we go down there and pick a spot,
In the
that's
past,
reasonable,
yeah.
and just be done.
You need to do
Do we know if that new legislation all went through?
It did. It comes
So it's
into
even
effect
less.
in October.
Oh.
Yeah, it's even easier.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
In October it becomes,
And we just start picking them off.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
Right. Is that it with the road commissioner?
yeah,
Correspondence?
none.
Request for additional agenda items?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Selectmen's concerns? Motion now.
Make a
That's a
motion.
concern.
That's her concern. Second, it's